Here are some tips that you need to learn before you give your IELTS speaking test. IELTS speaking actually consists of three parts: part one, part two, part three. Part one is about comfort and fluency. They're just going to ask you some simple questions like where are you from? What do you like to do in your free time? Do you have a job or not? They're going to ask you about your hometown, maybe weather and whatnot. Part one is comparatively easier than part two and part three, but I believe that part one holds a very key point in scoring good marks, because there's an expression called first impression is last impression. And part one, for the questions that are asked in the part one, because the questions are easy, you are expected to be flawless in it. For part two, the examiner is going to see your organization ability, like how well you organize your answer, because you are given 1 minute time for preparation. You will be given a cue card where there will be given a specific topic, and there are going to be questions in it as well. You'll get 1 minute time for preparation. After that, you're going to have to speak for 2 minutes. For part three, it's going to be a general conversation between you and the examiner. uh, Usually it is related to the part two topic, but sometimes in some cases it might not be related to the part two topic as well. So part three, what they are trying to look at is how well you develop your answers, how well you organize your ideas and convey them in a conversation with the examiner. For part three, what I would recommend you students to do is also I would ask you guys to leave a room to be able for the examiner to ask you some questions or some follow-up questions. It's going to make it very easy for you to answer them, and it's going to be easy for the examiner to ask you questions as well.
Yes, that's true. Now let's talk about how students are actually scored on the IELTS speaking test. So for that, there are four different categories. First is the fluency and coherence. So for this section, in order to score good marks, students need to speak continuously. However, small normal pauses are allowed. The conversation, while having a normal conversation, people pause in order to think about their ideas and what they're going to say next. So these types of things are allowed, but what's not allowed is long pauses and freezing. And the next category for marking for IELTS speaking is vocabulary. So in this section, many students have a common misconception, the misconception that they need to use big and fancy words in order to impress the examiner. And so because of this, what students do is that they try to memorize a bunch of random difficult words that they do not understand the meaning to, and they try to use them incorrectly while speaking with the interviewer. So here our goal is to not use big words incorrectly, but rather to use normal words appropriately. Okay, so the next category for marking for IELTS speaking is grammar. So here what students need to do in order to score good marks is to be as grammatically accurate as possible. And additionally, they also need to show that they can use a mix of both complex sentence structures as well as simple sentence structures. And the final thing that students are marked on is pronunciation. So there's a common misconception in this category. Many students think that they need to have an American or a British accent in order to score well, but that's not true at all. They just need to be able to communicate their ideas clearly. Okay, now let's talk about some common myths that students have regarding IELTS speaking exams. So the first myth that students have is that they need to memorize answers in order to score well. But that's actually the farthest thing from the truth, because examiners can detect when you've memorized answers instantly, and memorizing answers also kills your fluency.
Another common myth that I seem to recall is that students think that if you speak too fast, you're going to get a higher band, and which is completely false. Uh, so speaking slowly is actually beneficial for the student. The student actually gets time to think about what they're actually going to say. They can tap into their vocabulary, they can tap into their grammar, and it makes it very easy for them to speak fluently if they speak slowly.
Okay, and the other myth that students have is that one mistake ruins the entire score, and that's not true at all, because some mistakes are expected and you are scored for the entire test, not just one question.
I mean, yeah, and another myth that I think is very common among the student is that people seem to believe that you need to have strong beliefs or opinions about a topic or information and whatnot. And I think that's really not true, because you marked on your ability to be able to convey the information that you have in English, right? So you don't need to have strong beliefs, or you don't, even if you don't know some information about a topic, what you can say is simply, I don't have much information about this topic, but here's what I know, and you can continue in that basis. So for the students who are watching us, if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to drop those in the comment section down below, and give us a like and a subscribe.